Hello friends and welcome to my YouTube channel Simply Stocks, and today it's the question answer session, and we have a number of questions at our hand, so let's get started quickly. First of all, a disclaimer that this is not a stock recommendation. People taking any position into any share that I talk about should do that with their own due diligence and research, and I'm not in favor or against any company that I talk about. Before I go on to the questions that have come up over the last 2 weeks, as I have not been able to put up a question answer session last week, I want to discuss about the market. The Nifty is now above 11,600, and my pick was that the Nifty may go to 10,000. I still stick by that, and this is only a trap till Diwali, as I have talked before in that. Nifty video that I talked about, and the link is currently along with this video, so you can have a look at that video as well, because I feel that market is expensive. Once all the results come out and everything comes out into the picture by mid-November, we could see the Nifty drifting downwards to 11,300 and then below 11,000 very soon. The PSU stocks have surged dramatically due to the disinvestment talk that has cropped up with the government going ahead with the disinvestment of BHEL and BPCL, as we have understood. The news, this move has been a news-based move, and we have seen a 24% rise in BHEL in one day. I feel that this move could continue, and the BHEL could go to 80-90 levels at least from here. So anybody holding the stock may as well sell it at those levels and use this rise in PSU stocks to get out of these companies rather than hold it for 2-3 years. If you have a 10-12 years perspective, then of course you can buy and hold it, but it's not going to be a one-way journey like we have in a consumption stock. So one needs to take that into consideration. So the large cap stocks have continued to make new highs, whereas the small and mid cap sector has not done that well. And the large cap companies, few of them like Bajaj Finance, Titan, etc., are doing considerably well, as we have seen. And the investors are rewarding good numbers. So it is not that all the companies are going up or all companies in the Nifty is going up. Whichever companies are thought to have going to bring up very good numbers are doing really well, even in the mid cap section. So you see Pidilite and Bata doing well, although it is not part of the Nifty. And in the Nifty we have Bajaj Finance, which is doing considerably well, along with HDFC Bank. Coming to the question answers or questions from viewers, I have a number of questions and I'll try to take up each of them right now. First question comes up from lesson teacher, and he says that whether one can invest in ONGC now that we are hearing about disinvestments in BHEL and BPCL and all that. Probably you can trade in ONGC rather than investing in it. I have seen over a number of years, last 18-20 years, that ONGC post 2006 move, 2006-7 move, has not made money for investors, and I'm not a big fan of PSU stocks. Yes, whenever there is elections and a solid government comes into picture, then you see that companies like ONGC or BHEL or for that matter BEML, etc., do really well, but over a period of time they just shrink down to being nothing, and investors lose big amount of money. Rather than investing in PSU companies, you can go ahead and buy good quality private sector companies in different sectors. You have no foundation of buying only government firms. In the sugar sector, there's a question by Narendra Pal who asked that whether I have any view on any of the stocks in the sugar sector, either up or down. I believe that once this cycle turns around, it could be this year, it could be next year, all these stocks would be 90% down from their level. So you look at Dhampur sugar at 208.10, it could be 20-25 rupees, and so on so forth with others as well, Mavana, etc. So I don't favor commodity stocks either. You can trade commodity plays when the cycle has just begun. So the cycle began for the sugar sector in 2016 November. So at that point of time, if you had bought and ridden through the this sugar rally, it would have been great. But buying at this point of time would be a very difficult task at hand. The next question that comes up is on Penar Industries and a target for long term. It is from Bhau Jain, and I believe that Penar Industries is a good stock currently in the small cap segment, doing considerably well in terms of EPS, etc. But the June quarter numbers has not been that significantly higher, although the profits have come up higher by about 12 to 15%. Stock has fallen a lot, so you can buy incrementally into Penar Industries, but look at the results of the September quarter, etc., and only then put your more money into the stock. The next query comes up is from It's Mac, and the query is for ICICI Bank. Now, about banking, I'm going to put up a video on private and public sector banks soon. What I want to say here is I don't trade in banks at all, or NBFCs or any financials, because I don't understand them well. And you could do a lot of things with the books and the accounts when you are a banking licensee or into NBFCs, and the books would look good. And that's why it's very hard to get into these companies and find another HDFC. So only HDFC Bank has done really well over 20-25 years, and you can trust them. Otherwise, other companies, we have seen what happened with RBL Bank, what happened with ICICI Bank about 2 years back. So you can buy it, yes, of course, but do due diligence and full research before doing it. And probably my suggestion to all the viewers here is buy into companies which are simple, and you know the business inside out, and you can understand the business cycle and businesses very well. Bloodbath wants video on HDFC Bank and HDFC AMC. Now, I'm going to come up with an analysis on HDFC AMC for sure, similar to what I did for Aisha Motors and Page Industries, because the stock has really gone berserk after listing, and from 600 700 levels it's at 2600, and people are thinking when to buy it. Word of caution for those that the stock has risen a lot and it's trading at 50-60 times earnings. Just try to buy it on any sort of 15-20% correction. Don't buy it at the peak, because you never know when the tide turns. If the small caps comes back into picture, these stocks might just consolidate or go down further. View on Tata Motors DVR is expected from Parthiban, and my suggestion is stay away from Tata Motors or Tata Motors DVR. There's no difference between the two of them. It's just a discounted stock of Tata Motors in which you don't have voting rights. So you need to understand that. So if Tata Motors doesn't do well, Tata Motors DVR will not do well. There is a good bounce that is taking place in the stock. People are saying that the bottom is made. Probably it has been made, but the rise will not be very steep or straightforward in Tata Motors. That's what I want to say. Sanjay Jolly wants my view on Thirumalai Chemicals. Bought it at 41 rupees. I believe the company is good. It is in the chemical sector, and the company has robust return ratios, etc. But the June quarter results were very bad. So in that regard, the profitability fell sharply. So the June quarter numbers of Thermalai Chemicals were not very good, and the profitability fell sharply, and they had debt of 35 crores, which they had none before the June quarter numbers came out. So one needs to understand that when a company starts taking debt into the books, and with people shying away from such companies and nobody wants to buy into small caps, hence Thirumalai Chemicals is not doing that well, although the business of the company is good, and they have done reasonably well from 2014 to 17 period. So there's a question from Rafsha TA about Dabur or Marico, which one company to buy. I believe both are really good and have very good return ratios, etc. What I have seen over the years, over the last 5 years at least, 5 to 7 years, that Marico has risen a lot, and Marico has done appreciably well in the market and gained market share into their oil, etc. segments. So I have a preference towards Marico, although Dabur is not bad at all, and considering the kind of dividend that they give and the kind of corporate governance the company has, one can go for any one of these two for a good 18 to 20% return year on year, because of the measures taken by the government, and as we have seen that the companies that are big are becoming bigger. Most popular wants my view on Oro Pharma. So when you consider about Aurobindo Pharma, one needs to understand that Aurobindo Pharma is into the pharmaceutical segment, and we have seen that how US FDA has clamped down again on many of the companies that are listed on the stock exchange. Aurobindo Pharma is one of the better of these, so one can hold on or buy into it, but then one needs to understand the pharmaceutical industry very well. I don't understand it at all, and that's why I shy away from buying any pharma company. So do your own due diligence. In terms of corporate governance, Aurobindo Pharma is good. There's a video request on Godrej Industry from Neha Chaudhary. Sure, in the next few days or in a couple of weeks, in one of the videos, I'll definitely discuss Godrej Industries in detail. Rafsha TA also asked about problems of textile sector. You can go ahead and watch my videos about the textile sector, which I put up 2 or 3 days ago. Kindly go through that and you'll understand what are the issues. Primarily speaking, the issues are related to the lower power supply, lesser power supply, high debt on the companies, and the kind of businesses that is coming in from Bangladesh, and the competition that is coming in from Bangladesh and East Asian countries is really hurting the companies in the textile industry here in India. Uh, Shivaji Khose wants my view on Crompton Greaves power. I've already put up the video. After watching that video, he has asked me what is the view at the moment. Just stay away from such stocks in which there has been corporate governance issue, whether it's Manpasand, whether it's Vakrangi or CG Par, etc. Just stay away from these companies. uh, Shiva Kumari wants a video on Jamna Auto. Sure, in a very soon I'll come up with a video on Jamna Auto. It is a very good company to buy, but once the auto industry turns around or the automobile sector gets into a move, I believe in the next year and a half, auto industry will be in a difficult space. uh, Vipul Bhasin wrote a nice comment that the government is pushing for water for all by 2024, and the pipelines are being put into place, and there's a lot of stuff going on in that regard. So one buy into Finolex cables, Finolex pipes, for the example of Finolex Industries. I believe that let things happen on the ground rather than go by the saying of the government, because there is a lot of gap between the lip and the cup. So let things happen on the ground, let the numbers sink in and come in, and then get into these companies. Get into the capital goods or economy related companies, even 20-30% expensive. When they become 20-30% expensive, when you see things on the ground, rather than buying first and then regretting it, that why you have bought it. So this was my video on the number of questions that have come up from viewers. I hope you're liking my videos, and please like and subscribe my channel, hit the bell icon so that you can get my videos straight away when I post it. Thanks a lot for watching.